to really understand what Star Cruiser is about, it's not a hotel. It's not even a scavenger hunt or anything like that. It is a fully immersive, multi-platform experience that you are living through.
Hey, Disney World geeks, Curtis Stone here, and welcome to episode 457 of the Geekin' on Walt Disney World podcast. This week, two brothers with their two young sons go on an adventure on the Galactic Star Cruiser. This will be part one of my chat with my good pals Glen and Jeff Kessler, reviewing all the fun details of this out-of-the-world adventure. I've been having fun chatting with Disney World fans and geeks like Glen and Jeff for over 8 years. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I started the podcast with my daughter, Lindsay, talking about our Disney World trips. And then we brought on you geeks to tell your trip stories. Our listeners are so positive, caring, generous, and they are experienced Disney geeks. You'll get lots of ideas and tips for your next trip to Disney World from their real-world experiences and trip reports. And we encourage a family atmosphere here on the podcast. Before too long, they were calling me the Podfather, and we'd love for you also to join our Geekin' family. We've got an amazing private discussion group in Facebook. Search for Geekin' on WDW Family. It's a great place to ask your questions, share your trip pictures, and engage with one of the best groups out there on the internet all about Disney World. We're independent Disney authorized travel agents with Fairy Tale Concierge. Fairy Tale Concierge is an authorized platinum Disney vacation travel agency, and we'd love to be your travel guides. Help you book your room, tickets, and dining reservations. You'll notice many of our guests on the podcast book their trips, or they transfer their trip bookings to the Travelin' Tiaras. That's my wife, Margita, and her good friend, Auntie Judy. Email them at travelintiaras@gmail.com. And you don't have to write that down right now. You can just check the show notes either in the podcast app that you listen to the podcast or go out to our website, geekinonwdw.com. You'll find their email out there as well as mine if you'd like to reach out to us to talk about Disney World. And stay tuned after this featured trip report. I've got a special bonus chat with Travis Dietrich. You remember last week he completed his challenge, spending his entire Saturday riding It's a Small World for a great charity, Give Kids the World. So during our past Zoom Wednesday meeting, we talked with Travis a little bit, asked him about his experience, and also he did Guardians of the Galaxy, a preview. So we'll get that perspective from him, and also Scott and Karen Daves share a little bit of their time spent with Travis and riding Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, this is a third trip report that we're doing featuring the Star Cruiser, and two of my favorite pals, Glen and Jeff, two brothers and their two boys, go on this adventure. But they do stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge for one night at the Jumbo House. They do Boma dinner and breakfast. You'll get all these explanations before Star Cruiser. And everyone wants to know about Genie Plus. Jeff tells us about his experience with Genie Plus. Glen Kessler, as usual, gets something to add to my must-do list for my June trip, a plant-based lobster roll. I'm intrigued. I'm going to try it, Glen. And then we start getting into the Galactic Star Cruiser. Of course, the arrival. They're no doubt going to be early arrivals for their adventure. They talk about their backstories and the launch into space. They've got a personal robot assistant in the room, the D309. You hear all about the cabin details, first day of activities, and then we get into some food, of course, lunch buffet, the kickoff to the cruise and the narrative that's getting started on this first day, and some fun things and activities like the lightsaber training, bridge training. And this is only the first day. We're not over yet, guys. This is part one. Listen in next week for part two. But for now, are you ready for a fully immersive, multi-platform experience that you're living through? Let's take off on a spectacular out-of-this-world adventure with Glen and Jeff. Well, I got two of my favorite brothers from the Geekin' family, and they're fresh back from Disney World, where they took two of their boys, and they took a cruise on the Galactic Star Cruiser. Let's bring them on. Let's have a big Geekin' family welcome to Jeff Kessler.
Hey, geeks. Hey, Kurt.
Hey, Jeff. How are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty well. Excited to talk about this.
I am too. And well, we got your big brother, Glen Kessler.
But Jeff always gets introduced first, always the first Kessler to have met Kurt. I will never live that one down. Thank you, nausea.
I don't feel too bad, Glen. You get mentioned on my podcast just about every single episode.
Oh my God. People have been making me cry lately. I got to stop listening to this geeking on WDW. It's pulling at too many heartstrings. Love you all.
Haven't those G3 roundtables been something else? I knew there was emotion, but I didn't expect all of that.
You got a special little group here, Kurt. I don't know if you know what you did, but you pulled people together that, like the Island of Misfit Toys, and we are all so in love with one another. It is just a beautiful thing to hear and revel in, and can't wait to, I'm sure, meet some more new ones next year. That's the exciting thing. It keeps getting better and better, doesn't it?
For sure. And we keep having all these adventures. You guys, the Galactic Star Cruiser, we're going to go into some great detail on that. But let's talk about who went on this trip. Let's let Jeff go first.
All right. Yeah. I can get a couple words in edgewise.
Enjoy it while you can.
Exactly. I'll be quiet for the next 15 minutes after that. So it was me and Glenn, and then also our two boys, or his oldest, and my son. So it was my son, Andy, who's 9, and then his son, AJ, who's 11. And we all went down. It was just last weekend. Flew down on Saturday, and then we started the Galactic Star Cruiser on the Sunday. So it's a good time for everybody.
You guys all get along?
Sometimes.
Yeah. We live only 15 minutes away from each other, so the kids get to see each other all the time, and Glenn and I get to see each other regularly. We go and see every Star Wars movie when it comes out, and more frequently Marvel movies whenever it comes out on opening day. We'll be at Doctor Strange in just 2 weeks to see it at opening day.
I think it's great. You guys get to share so much together.
Absolutely. This guy right here, he's my best friend. I mean, like, this is a beautiful thing about brothers, and having so many shared likes and experiences. It only makes us even stronger.
Well, plus the kids. I've always seen pictures of all you guys together, and it's pretty cool. Family is really important, and I think you guys got something good going on.
Well, if you've seen the pictures, you know that Jeff had my child, the little redhead, and I had his, the athletic brunette. So we've missed our window to trade kids. They're going to know. They're going to remember real dad at this point. So sorry.
Fantastic. Now, you guys did a couple of days. How did it work out? You were in where? Animal Kingdom the first couple of days before the Star Cruiser?
Yeah, we treated it like a real cruise where you don't want to miss the boat taking off from the dock. So we said, let's come in a day early just in case there's weather, cancellations of any sort. A lot of those cancellations have been happening, geeks will know. So we came in a day early, both of us on 7 a.m. flights, both of us on different airports for some reason, because I was going to take it easy and arrive at 1 p.m. But no, the geek in me made me come early. So we both arrived around 9:00-ish at MCO, went over to Animal Kingdom, which is where we decided to split a room in Jumbo House. We just kind of relaxed and enjoyed, we were planning on just kind of relaxing and enjoying the room. Well, Jeff headed over to, was it Epcot?
Epcot to start, yep. Mm-hmm.
I took AJ directly over to Hollywood Studios. We wanted to see Star Wars Land and get familiar with the layout and practice on the data pad and stuff. And then Jeff was planning on hopping over to Hollywood Studios and meeting us. So he's really the master of the Genie Plus and had stacked a bunch of rides for later in the day. Would you have Slinky Dog, I think, later
Slinky
in the day?
Slinky Dog and Mickey and Minnie's. We got both of those for after we hopped. Yep.
And we were able to coordinate our Genie Pluses so that we got to ride on a couple of those same rides, travel together and enjoy together. But it was a nice kind of, meet up, traveled from the airport to Animal Kingdom together, drop off our luggage, and then head to our separate before we met up again at Hollywood Studios and enjoyed the rest of the day. With closing at, Jeff, where did you decide we wanted to eat dinner that night?
Well, we're staying at Jumbo, so we had to go to Boma. So we had Boma for dinner, and then the next morning we had Boma for breakfast. So
you did a lot of
Boma.
Both. That's one of my favorite places for both those kinds of meals. You guys all been there before, right?
I had never done the breakfast before, but I've done the dinner several times, and it delivered again. It's just really good quality, all these new flavors, but every one of them so good. Even the kids found things that they liked, and the steak, or the carving station steak, kids were going back 2 and 3 times for that. It was really, really good.
I'm so glad that's back.
That was a really good surprise, especially with 9 and 11-year-olds. You never know which way they're going to go. Do they just want the chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, or are they going to be a little more adventurous? And I was pleased with both of them. They both stretched. I mean, they ate their favorites, but then they also stretched a little bit, tried some new things. And AJ, my eldest, has a nut allergy, so peanuts and tree nuts. And my goodness, does Boma take care of you? They have a separate printed menu with a graph on it, a little chart that tells you every single item at each station. They have it broken down by which table, of the buffet it's at, so it's easy to follow the name, and then which allergies it sets off, not just for nuts, but, if you have gluten or dairy or anything like that. So I was totally put at ease, and probably for his, at least for nut allergies, 90 to 95% of the buffet was available to him. That was amazing to have that freedom. He loves going to Disney for this reason.
I know the chef will come out too. If you got food issues, they'll even personally walk you through that buffet. I've seen that happen too.
That's true. We didn't need it this time because we'd eaten dinner at Boma before, and I knew I'd already had that conversation with them, but it was very reassuring to at least have that printout and the knowledge that you could if you wanted to talk to them.
Fantastic. I did want to ask Jeff, somewhere, one of the Facebook posts, I think one of your desires was to really understand and work the Genie Plus system. So what's your analysis now that you mentioned it already?
Yep. I've done it 4 times now. I did it twice at G3 and then twice on this trip. And I'm actually liking it. Obviously the cost is annoying, but once you get past that, we found that the stacking in the afternoon method seems to work best, where first thing at 7 a.m., get the premier ride like the Slinky Dog, and then the 2 hours after park opens, get yourself that next one. And I actually found out a trick. So this is one to keep in mind. It seems this way. I was able to test it, but not guarantee it. But it seems that whatever you do for the 7 a.m. one, whether it's the park you're in or a park you're going to hop to, it's that starting time. So if that park opens at 8 a.m., then at 10 a.m., you can make your next selection. Where if you start your day at Epcot and it's at 9 a.m. start, if your first was a Hollywood Studios 8 a.m., you still, even though you've only been in Epcot for 1 hour, can make that next selection. And it could be for Epcot or it could be for Hollywood Studios. So something good if you want to play with it, to try to book, if you're hopping, maybe an earlier opening park, Fast Pass or Lightning Lane first, so you can get that second one earlier than everybody else. But we've been pleased. Normally get about 4 to 5, sometimes more Lightning Lanes over the course of the day.
Because I saw reports, I think, on the Disney website, they're saying something like 2 to 3. So if you're doing better than that, you're definitely doing it the Kessler way, I'm sure.
I think that 2 to 3 is them measuring expectations. But yeah, if you're knowledgeable and go hard, and that is such a pro tip, Jeff. That was a revelation to us, that your first park will determine the starting 2-hour timeline. So I don't know if you're going Animal Kingdom to Epcot. I mean, you could really make some bank. You could get every Epcot ride before anyone else has access to it.
Yeah. Any special moments then before we get to the Star Cruiser?
I had a really great moment. As Glenn kind of mentioned, we met up at Animal Kingdom Lodge and then we kind of went our separate ways. Glenn's taken his kids or his individual kid on trips before, but I've never had the opportunity to go just with Andy or just with Melody anywhere. So when we got to Epcot, it just being the two of us, we had flown obviously down together, just the two of us. But when we walked into Epcot, we had just passed Spaceship Earth. We're walking around on our way towards living seas. And he just turns to me and he goes, "Dad, just breathe it in. We're here at Disney World." And I was like, "You're right, man. This is awesome." And it just was something about the way he said it and looked at me and the fact that the two of us were together. And then we had, those couple of hours till we hopped over to meet up with Glen, where it was just the two of us to be able to hang out. It was just really nice to have that kind of time with him. With his sister being around, I feel like there is that level of competition where they don't get that alone time, and having those couple of hours there. And then at the end of the trip, we did Magic Kingdom, just the two of us together. It was just a really great opportunity, even with the Star Cruiser, which was its own amazing opportunity. There was more to the whole trip.
You should be really proud of that comment from him at 9 years old, because my kids would be like, "We're going to Epcot."
That's true.
For him to be an appreciative young man at his age, that's quite phenomenal. You should be proud of that.
Thank you.
He's a pretty amazing kid. He's a very mature, cerebral young man. I love him.
That's for sure. Yeah.
I can tell. So Glen, you and AJ have a good time?
I was gonna say I had the spiked and striped cold brew from Boma in the morning. I need to come up with something stronger than that. That's the new drink, by the way. If anyone's traveling soon, I don't know how long it'll last, but if you go to Boma Breakfast, that's the coffee drink that's got the frosting on top, and of course the Zebra Dome. It's the only Zebra Dome you can get. In the morning, we actually went up to the buffet, and I was like, "I don't see any Zebra Domes on the buffet. Can my kid have a Zebra Dome?" They're like, "Nope, they're only available at night." I was like, "You just put one on my drink. I know you have them in the back." They're like, "No, I'm sorry, sir. You want to order another drink?" So if you want to get a Zebra Dome, that is the only way to get one before dinner.
Well, I don't know. The little quick serve had them in the case.
Yeah, fair enough. You can go to the Mara. You can go to the Mara and get what I think 3. In the morning. But as part of the Boma, they will not bring it out to you. I don't know.
Strict rules on the Zebra Dome. They don't want to run out. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe you can sweet talk him better than I could. I don't know.
And maybe the night before.
Yeah. I'll just say real quick on our day over at Hollywood Studios, I went for, again, the most delicious, I think, plant-based thing I've ever had, the lobster roll, the plant-based lobster roll, Kurt. I talked about it previously. It was calling me again, and it was even better this time. The sauce to hearts of palm is what they use in the place of the lobster ratio was just perfect this time. It was creamy and flavorful and very refreshing on a kind of a hot day. I would strongly recommend that. That's over at Rosie's. And then AJ is my dude. He and I rocked Toy Story Midway Mania. We didn't quite get the best of the hour. We were like right there. I was right there. He was my assist man, but he had over 120,000, which I was super impressed with. So if you teach them young the Kessler tips as we've gone over, then you could do great things. We popped all of the magic in each of the rooms. We made the volcano explode, and we hit the mouth of the aliens and all the things that you can do. So we just had a great time.
Oh, actually, Glen, I'm thinking of asking you to come on. We'll give it a few weeks here. I'm going to run out of Patreon recordings for my G3, and I was thinking of having you on and going through in detail the Toy Story Mania's hacks, Easter eggs, and all that.
Be glad to do it. I would love to make that a competition at the next G3. We talked about it before, but that would be super fun.
Got to have that recorded.
Don't go with Noah Austin, because he plays to win, and if he doesn't win, be careful. It could be messy.
Well, I know his mother talks trash when you play against her.
They're tough. They look sweet and innocent, but they are straight gangsters. Really,
she's holding the baby.
Austins.
She's holding the baby in her hands, and then she starts talking trash to me. I'm like, all right, bring it on. Let's go.
While she had the baby on the ride, that's amazing.
I had no mercy.
Oh my God, Holly is awesome.
I stayed ahead of
that family.
She was so mad when we got off. Good fun.
Too cute.
Well, so I know you guys do your research, and I know you talked to Wendy Fox, who went before you.
Yep.
And anything you learned in your research? I mean, I love how you went and stayed a night or two there beforehand. You already said that. But was anything else like pre-trip that got you ready for this Star Cruiser?
Yeah, Wendy was great. I mean, I so appreciate her taking some time to chat with us. I mean, getting our backstories in order, making sure we had the clothes, and then planning our arrival. And no way that you can really plan the departure. That's a little bit crazy. We'll get to that in a second. All of that was absolutely invaluable information. We didn't want any spoilers, though. We got a little bit spoiled with little things here and there as we were trying to mine the internet and the Facebook and of course the podcast for information that we felt was necessary to know, to orient ourselves, but not story-based and plot-based. But I think, should we spoiler warning here, that we are going to go deep into spoiler reveals and everything at this point. You've probably been spoiled already, or you're pursuing, but let's go deep into some of the antics that are going on. And I think this will enhance everyone's experience, not lessen it. Because when you experience it, when you're actually there interacting with, I don't think there's really any way to fully take away, from what's happening. I mean, if you just be like Andy, channel your inner Andy and be in the moment and grateful, then I think you're going to be wowed by whatever you experience. But should we start with arrival?
Yeah, let's talk about how you got over there. I know there's a lot of confusion on the transportation from the resort over to where the Star Cruiser is. So let's get that. Of
course there is. We even got a courtesy call a week ahead of the trip. And the agent that I talked to, the cast member that I talked to, I asked him specifically, I was like, what time should we go? I understand it opens at 1. What time should we go? And he said, under no circumstances should you arrive before 1 p.m. It would be dangerous to be standing out there, that we don't have a lot of area for people to stand and queue. So I would recommend you arrive at 2 p.m. I quickly threw that information out. And what did we do, Kessler boy?
Yeah, so we showed up at 11:30. So there is currently no way to get over there other than taxi, Uber, or your own personal car. There is no buses or anything like that. So we knew going in that without having our own rental car, which we didn't have, that we were going to take an Uber just because that was the most convenient thing. And we had it pick us up at Animal Kingdom. We were already checked out at 11. So we headed over there, came into the gate.
What do you tell the Uber driver? Take me to the Star Cruiser?
There's an address that you can give them.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. This was our Uber driver told us on the way over. It was the first time he had driven over there.
Okay.
And it's kind of intimidating because you drive behind Hollywood Studios. You're in just a parking lot. You can see the backside of some of the rides and areas. And then you come up to this compound, I guess would be the best way to describe it. It's very indescript. There is a gate. There's lots of fences around it, so no one can get in there. And you come up to the security guard at that gate, and there's a sign that says Galactic Star Cruiser, so you at least know you're in the right spot. And that's security guard.
It's kind of boring, though, isn't it? The front of this thing?
It just looks like a warehouse. There's no signage other than this one single post that says Galactic Star Cruiser with some kind of plantings around it. So not much to see as you're pulling in. And the security guard actually said, if we didn't want to stay there from 11:30 when we got there until they opened at 1, they were going to give us a voucher for a cab ride to Hollywood Studios, and then a second voucher not Hollywood Studios, Disney Springs, from Disney Springs back. So if we didn't want to actually stay there, they would take our bags and give us the 2 vouchers to be able to leave and come back. And he also said that we were the 4th people to have come through. So 11:30, we actually weren't the first people to come through. But thankfully, everybody else took him up on that offer and had already gone off, assumedly, to Disney Springs or somewhere else. But we decided we were going to stay, and we stood in line.
Yeah, because we're us.
By the time I got to Disney Springs, it'd be time to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they had said to come back at that 2 o'clock, the same as what Glenn had heard on the phone. And he said that way you wouldn't be waiting in any line. You just walk right in. But we wanted to be in there as soon as possible.
You want to be first.
Darn right. And we were front of the line, hour and a half we stood there.
Did he even know us? He didn't even know us to say that. Like, we're not going to leave and come back. So we were first, and we had to be. So we got some great pictures, didn't we, Jeff, right in front of the sign? And we were there for about a half an hour before anyone else decided to stay in the line. So what we did is we talked to the cast members who had met us. In fact, maybe that's an important thing to mention. Like, as soon as we stepped out of our Uber, there was a cast member with a tray with waters on it. They had counted out how many people were getting out of the Uber. They had 4 waters on it. They gave us 4 waters. Immediately after her was another cast member standing with a tray that had our magic bands on them. They had found out our name. The first one had asked our name, and then that allowed the second cast member to have our magic band. So you're being greeted with this concierge level, kind of treatment already. Makes you feel very important already. And then, because we were the only people there, we started taking pictures and chatting with the first cast member who had met us, Sarah where was she from, Jeff? Oh yeah.
Naboo.
Not from Orlando, not from Fort Lauderdale, but from Naboo. Every cast member has a planet that they're from, which is so charming. And she talked to us for 20 minutes without breaking character, completely without breaking character. And that's when it dawned on me that this is what it's going to be like. This is what we're in for the next 48 hours or so. And it got me so excited. And not only was that a great experience getting us, we started by giggling, and then I was like, no, we got to take this seriously. This is not a giggle thing. This is get serious and chat with them.
So you guys were talking about backstories. I really don't know about it. I'm going to assume a lot of the audience does. What is a backstory? What was your backstories?
I'll take this one, Jeff, obviously.
Yep.
So our backstory was a little convoluted. Work with me here, people. All right. So I was originally born Galen, Galen, Kenner, Kenner, on the planet of Jakku. I'm a sculptor. Well, in real life, I'm a painter. And so I was a sculptor on Jakku and decided to sculpt some of the famous people from our galaxy. You've heard of them: Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, Luke Skywalker, and even Darth Vader. Well, I sculpted little figurines of them. I hand painted them, and just for friends initially, but people loved them. So that ended up growing into a big company called Kenner. So if you know about these little figurines, those are Kenner figurines. Well, it got so popular at some point, not only were kids buying them to play with them, but adults were buying them, and they were hoarding them and selling them for big sums. Well, some of the First Order and the bad guys started coming around my house and asking me to make sculptures for them. So we had to go into hiding. I changed my name to Glen Kessler. This was my first re-entry back into high society, and I was so worried that people would recognize me, Kenner, from his toy days, that I needed a bodyguard. So I hired, what was your name? Gorf or Jerf or something?
Jerf. You can't say, on my planet, you can't really say Jeff very well, so they just say Jerf.
What was
Jerf?
It wasn't on Spaceballs. What was the Spaceballs character?
This was from a very obscure Saturday Night Live skit, which had Natalie Portman, who's from Star Wars, and her family is some sort of weird eclectic artist family, and she introduced her boyfriend Jeff, and they can't say his name. They just keep calling him Gurf and Jerf, and so I was like, I'll go with that. It's got the loose Star Wars tie-in. Nice. So that was our backstory. And Andy gave himself the name Andonian. And we were both bounty hunters turned into bodyguards from wherever the Mandalorian was from. It's escaping me right now. From Navarro. Yeah. That's right.
Fantastic.
Well, that lasted all of 20 minutes as we explained it to Sarah, and then I was exhausted telling the story. So pretty much from there on out, I was just, I'm Glen Kessler, and I'm from Jakku if you want. The backstories were fun, but
backstories are fun. In summation, for people listening to this, you do not need a backstory like that. He told it to Sarah when we were waiting because we had an hour and a half, and I never told anyone my backstory from that moment on. You don't need a backstory.
There you go.
You don't want to actually have a a separate name. You want to have your own name. So for lack of confusion, one thing you do want to do, or two things you do want to do, is have a planet that you want to say is where you're from, because all of the cast members say they're from a planet. So pick a planet, maybe learn about that planet a little bit if you want to have that just for conversation. And then 100% make yourself a costume, or if you don't want to make yourself a costume, buy one on Etsy or Disney, the Disney Shop Disney site, because the outfits really are great when the people are wearing them. It starts conversation with others. It makes for a really fun environment when everyone's in character, looking like they're from somewhere in the Star Wars universe.
Fantastic tips. Yeah, what were you guys all dressed up as?
Well, I would only add to that we did buy, at least AJ and I bought both the blue and the gray costumes. Jeff and Andy had the blue costumes that they sell on the Shop Disney. But everybody had those, right? So you think you're going to stand out, and it sounds cool. It's totally different than normal. But I would absolutely, as Jeff said, go on Etsy or even just get creative on Amazon and design your own. Layers are in the Star Wars universe. Make sure make sure you get a vest, and also make it weather appropriate for your second day. You're going to be heading to Batuu, where the temperature might be 90 degrees and humidity 100%. So make sure you pack some shorts that are in theme, would be a smart idea. But make your own, go creative with it. We saw, this was a real conversation starter. When we were standing in line, we were first, but the third group, the man was completely decked out in solid gold. His shirt, his pants, his shoes, his vest, everything was solid gold. It was a real conversation starter. He ended up becoming a very close friend of AJ and mine. We went to a bar we'll get to later, and we chatted with them for an hour. And those unique outfits really get the conversation started, lets people know that you're invested and you're willing to be conversational and engaged in world conversation. So it just adds to the fun of it. So I would make your own, if it would be my suggestion.
Fantastic. Now, is embarkation is getting on the ship?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's the term. Yep.
Yeah, these are my notes. Sorry, Kurt. So
proper term.
Absolutely. So as at the strike of 1 p.m., they let us in. It really was clockwork. And you go in initially to a metal detector. They got to make sure that you're not smuggling anything nasty in. So that breaks the illusion for just a minute. And once you're past that, you get one more moment. This is literally the only other moment that breaks the illusion. Jeff, you want to tell this story because you had a good time with it.
Oh yeah. So the first thing to do is bring your group, maybe about 12 to 15 people, and you watch a movie. And the movie is at the gist of it, explaining to you that in the Star Wars land, there can be emergencies and they will sound a certain way. And then there will be actual real life Earth emergencies, like something is going wrong,
fire,
and it will sound different.
Yeah.
And so they want to make sure you know that if it's a Star Wars emergency, party on, it's going to be great. But if it's a real Earth emergency and it sounds this way, don't keep partying, get to a certain spot. And there's even these like little escape hatches in every room that you can go hide out in. And they show you that in the video. So it was somewhat comical because the fact they had to do that, but they had to do that. It made sense.
I really regret not opening our escape hatch, our emergency hatch, while we were in the room. I really do.
Yeah, I watched a TikTok on a girl did it, and she mentioned it 3 different times on her favorite things on the cruise ship. And I was like, oh man, yeah, it's like a little tiny closet that you can hide out in, and if in case of fire, I guess it's like a panic room.
So besides the safety and the formality, what is next? Is there some fun in hopping on the ship?
The next thing is the big start of the trip. You get into your launch pod. So the reason that the Star Cruiser hotel is not themed up is because it's not on the planet. It's up in the stars. All that you're doing down here is the port. You get in these little tiny ships and you can see there's a couple of windows behind the veil, these are screens that show you, like on Rise of the Resistance, the tops of the trees here in Orlando. And then you take off and you shoot up to outer space and you're floating up in the clouds, or I guess no clouds, but, black space with white stars.
Outer space.
And outer space. And there are all kinds of ships that start showing up. You feel a little motion. The room is completely impeccably themed, which already kind of sets the stage. And then when you're there, when you start to dock with the ship, the other side of the door opens up. Spoiler alert. It's an elevator. You've gone up one floor and now you get out of the other side of the elevator and you are hit with the atrium, this massive space that you're going to be spending a lot of time on for the remainder of your trip. There are cast members waiting there, ready to receive you. And it begins with one cast member leading your party off to your room. So this is guaranteed going to be the first thing that you do. You have no options here. They're going to take you to your room. This is the protocol. And so we were led up to our 7th floor. That's the highest floor that they had. There's only 7, 6, and 5, I think, or something like that. Really just a few floors.
4. Yep.
4 and 4. So 4 total floors. And we were led down to our room. Every inch of the place is themed. There is nothing on the floor, ceiling, or any wall that is not in world. And that also maintains for the people that you interact with, whether they are cast members like we had Seth, who led us to our room, or the cast members who work at the lounge or the merchandise location or anywhere. And of course, the actors that we're going to be talking about shortly. So we get to our room. And he does the 30-second tour, lets us know where the beds are and the pull-down bed and the view screen, which is amazing. More on that later.
You know what's amazing to me is that why is it in the Star Wars world in the future, everything looks so junky? Like when I go on Millennium Falcon, like everything looks like junk. Is it kind of similar decor?
There are places on Batuu that are pretty junky, but remember, this Star Cruiser is the pinnacle of elegance. It has been sailing for 275 years. This is its 275th anniversary tour. It's very exciting.
So
I don't know
luxurious?
how it is. Very luxurious, actually.
Okay.
No.
I'm glad.
There's none of that junky feel like you got on Batuu. It is a very clean,
modern.
Everything is very modern and in world for Star Wars.
Fantastic.
And of course, Seth introduced us to my new girlfriend, B309 or D309. Sorry, lady. And Jeff, you want to tell the story about D309?
Oh yeah. So in everybody's room, you have your normal phone for calling for anything, but attached with that console is a screen that has a little button that if you push it, on the screen comes your communication with a robot who is your personal concierge. And you have actual interactions, the voice recognition. It will talk to you, you talk back, and it will answer, and it gives you plot points and things that are going on the ship to keep the story going. And it's quite amazing how it can actually react. So every day, if the light was blinking, we knew to push that. It would pop up and have some new story. The kids loved it because they could talk to this robot. Glenn loved it a little too much because he was flirting with the robot, which will still be one of my favorite memories because the kids were getting so grossed out by Glenn being like, "Oh, honey, thank you so much. You're the best. Thanks, sweetheart," and all this. And the kids are I think that was awe. It could be easily misunderstood. The kids loved it. No. She actually gives you missions and engagements and questions to go with, and it's just the funniest thing. It's just this like complete AI that is able to have conversational speech, and we decided to have a little too much fun with it. I'm so sad we didn't record more of those interactions, Jeff. Yeah. We were in the moment. We didn't know what we were to expect. Yeah, it's a shame.
What did you think of the room? Any details from the room that you can share with us?
I'd say it was ample, but tight. It's somewhere between a cruise line, kind of very small cabin and like a studio you might find on property. The sleeping arrangements are, again, ample. We had 4. 2 adults and 2 kids. That was fine. In fact, AJ and I took the opportunity to kind of snuggle together. We were just so happy to be together. So we snuggled up in one of the bunks. Andy slept in another bunk. Jeff got the queen, which had a super deep mattress and was gorgeous. I mean, that had to have been a 12-inch deep mattress.
Really comfortable bed. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all in the same room then.
Yeah, yep. And there's even one more fold down. We could call it a Murphy, but it's one of those little under the TV type mattresses. It fit an adult, but it wouldn't. Andy Hoffman could fit, but probably nobody else really. And it was that same bed as in Riviera. And
no Riviera,
you could fit 5. Yeah, you could fit 5 adults. It was not as big as the Riviera, but it wasn't tiny either. And I think the bathroom was the real surprise too. It was quite large, a walk-in rain head shower with a themed wand that you could use if you wanted to switch to that mode. There was a separate commode so you could have privacy in there, while just outside someone could be brushing their teeth at the sink. It was quite ample in the bathroom area, which was nice. And, considering that you might have as many as 4 or 5 people in that room, there was a little privacy. And again, every single thing was themed in world, so much so that the kids, I was worried they would get locked into the commode. So I took them in. I took Andy and AJ into the bathroom after I had, kind of christened the place. And I said, guys, I need you to check this out. This is how the lock mechanism works here and the door mechanism. And AJ did need to be freed at one point on that second day, I think. He could not make the door work. So, pro tip there, make sure your little ones know how to work the doors before you lose them to the bathroom monster.
All right, let's get into day 1 activities.
All right, let's do it.
When you first get in there, from 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., they're boarding everyone. So they're not really in the story at this point, but what you can do is wander around and check things out. And they have the buffet. So the lunch buffet is open from that 1 to 4. Food's out there, all you can drink, green milk, blue milk, just an opportunity to kind of familiarize yourself with the whole Star Cruiser, where all the rooms are. There's a bar that has the sabacc, like their poker style game that you can go and look at. We just took that opportunity to do exactly that. We wandered around for a little bit, then we went to the buffet. Don't know if we want to start talking about food yet.
Yeah, go ahead. How was the food in the standard buffet?
This is the Geeking on WDW.
Yeah, I was like, is it going to be its own special thing, or do we take it right now?
Let's take it as it comes.
I think what you should take from this is the buffet. Everything on there is in the. He's got a picture of it. Everything there is themed. So when you walk into the buffet and you see everything, it looks like it's from outer space. Very different colors, very different. Don't expect to see anything familiar other than there's a couple of things that look like pizza, but they don't necessarily taste like pizza.
Oh, no.
Yep. And the way it is it's almost like a bunch of different food and wine festival style serving. So everything is in its own individual plate. There's no common bowl that you scoop out of like we had at Boma. Everything is individual grab portions. And they go onto a cool tray that's got kind of pods for each of these plates to fit into. There is standard sodas, so Coca-Cola products and all of that. Plus you have the blue milk and the green milk. Glenn loved the food more so than I did. Aesthetically, everything's great. Glenn loved more of the food, so I'll let him describe some of the things that he really liked.
Very diplomatic there, Jeff. I appreciate that so much. So for me, it was a combination of looks and taste. So take that with a grain of salt. They have reimagined and re-envisioned familiar things, not just visually, but even in terms of the mechanisms of how they work. Case in point, grilled cheese and tomato soup, which the geeks love, right? Instead of having grilled cheese as bread and then, the grilled bread and then the cheese inside of it, they have somehow combined the cheese and the bread into, I'm sure, some kind of a syrup and put it into a waffle maker that produces a bubble wrap, large bubble wrap, kind of bubble shaped texture. And that item you dip into a tomato soup dipper. So if you're expecting grilled cheese, it's not going to taste like grilled cheese. And the tomato soup even was a little different. But if you're up for unique experiences, textures, flavors, kind of looks, of course, and colors, then I think you're going to be pretty satisfied with how weird and wonderful the experience is. That said, I mean, there are going to be favorites. There are going to be hits. There are going to be misses. There were hits and misses for me across the board. But I think just going into it with an open mind and a really a taste palette that doesn't kind of say this has to taste like this or I'm out. If you've ever had the experience, I love thinking about this. If you ever had the experience, if you think the glass is full of milk and it's actually soda, then that's the worst experience you're ever going to have. When you sip something, you think it's going to be one and then it's the other.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So go in with no expectation. Just let those flavors hit you. Some are going to overwhelm. Some are going to underwhelm. But I would say take it all in. And I tried to eat everything. I tried to drink everything. That's another story we'll get into. That's additional. I would say everything was very charming. You can go back to these buffets again and again and again, no matter how long within the window they're serving. You can keep getting. And I didn't see anyone policing as you left. You probably could take a to-go item if you could figure a way to transport it. We took a lot of drinks around. It was like Mardi Gras, but I didn't really take a lot of food out, but I think you could.
What was, you guys have a favorite on that buffet that we would go back to?
On that buffet, I would say the group favorite, I'm going to lump the kids in here because they really won this lunch, there was a crawfish kind of an etouffee, kind of thing that they were charmed with. My kids my AJ had never eaten crawfish. I don't think Andy had ever eaten crawfish before, right?
I had never eaten crawfish.
So, you had never eaten crawfish? 45?
Nope. Yeah.
I don't think I have either.
There you go. See, yeah.
So Louisiana, not Connecticut. We have lobster.
Exactly. I've had lobster.
Yep. So. Yeah, these are tiny lobsters, langostinos. So I was teaching, that's right. I was teaching you and the others, you had to crack them and everything like that and open up the meat. And they loved it. I want to say Andy went back.
He got 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Like 4 or 5 times.
It's a bit wasteful though, because the plate actually had like farro and beans maybe as the main thing, and then there was just one crawfish sitting on top. So Andy would go and get it. He didn't want anything else other than the one crawfish. So he had 4 plates of this farro, beans and rice, so to speak, and just ate the crawfish, threw those off to the side. He did eat crawfish and he really enjoyed it, and it was good.
Fantastic. Yeah. So we're past 4:00. Are you starting to get into some of the game?
Yeah, at 4:00 is the official kickoff of the Star Cruiser. They have a muster, MUSTER, which of course is the traditional start of a cruise, and everyone is gathered. I think all 400. We were at about 360, something like that, for our cruise. But the maximum number of folks on the Star Cruiser is 400 if every room was maxed out. All of us met in the atrium to hear from the captain and some others about an introduction to our trip. But that also begins the narrative, and the narrative will transpire over the next day and a half. It'll really conclude the second night. There's not really any narrative the next morning, the third morning, departure morning. They're getting you off the ship. This narrative begins with introductions and a little bit of excitement and energy as you're grouped. In case there are emergencies, you're grouped into A, B, C, and D. They had Arabish names. I cannot remember anymore what we were. That starts things going, and then we're really off to the races. It's 4 p.m. Everyone's off to the races with beginning to start decoding some of the stories. So to really understand what Star Cruiser is about, it's not a hotel. It's not even a scavenger hunt or anything like that. It is a fully immersive, multi-platform experience that you are living through, and your phone, aka your data pad, comes alive with correspondences from actual characters that you're going to meet and interact with over the course of the next day and a half. The captain, the first mate, the engineering, the people who run the the Jedi training and some other, kind of characters, they're all starting to interact with you, and they're sending you on missions. They're asking questions and asking you to do things. You're interacting with the Star Cruiser itself. There are panels all through the Star Cruiser that you scan your magic band. It identifies you. You start answering questions, solving riddles, and then you start interacting with the ship. You have access to parts of the ship that you thought were off limits, that you thought were only for the crew and the staff, but are actually essential for you to go into, solve visual puzzles or physical puzzles that help decode mysteries that push the story forward. If you're into it, you can do this for hours, and the kids are running around crazy, and the parents are running around crazy, the adults are running around crazy. If you don't want to do this, the narrative will proceed with a theater show in the atrium whenever you need it to be. Whenever you are needed in a place, you'll get a little gold indication on your data pad. Be in this place at this time. Don't miss the gold ones. But if you want to enhance your experience, continue to play and explore. We met folks that were all different levels of engagement. People who were so far into the narrative that we didn't know if they were actually hired by Disney cast members. There was this one guy who was the resistance spy. They kept talking about him. He actually was just a guest like the rest of us. And then there were other people who never dressed up, who just kind of sat in the bar and hung out and enjoyed themselves and chatted with us. And they had a great experience by the end. We talked to them. So you could have a great experience whether you're totally dialed in world or whether you're just looking on and being like, wow, what a spectacle this is.
So your kids at the ages that they are, 9 and 13, how did you feel that they made out with the whole experience?
I think they both really enjoyed it. I would say probably 7. Our kids are 9 and 11. I would think 7 would probably be the youngest that you'd want to take a kid. It definitely is better if your child knows how to read, because they'll get those correspondence. Everyone gets their own phone. So you can either bring your own phone from home, but a lot of kids don't have them. So Andy, for instance, we were able to rent one, no cost. They let you borrow. It's an iPhone in essence. And all of this data pad stuff that Glenn's talking about is actually through the Play Disney app. Right. So you can become familiar with it before you even go there, how it works, but it changes and becomes to life, so to speak, when you're on the ship. So Andy really enjoyed having that phone and being able to answer the questions unique to his own way he wanted to be. He didn't want to be with the Force. He wanted to kind of be a little bit of a good guy, and then also with the First Order. And so that was great for him to be able to do that. And I think AJ to the same degree. And then they were off interacting with the other kids on the ship and running around with the characters, doing things that the characters definitely try to tailor for some degree to the kids to make it special for them. And they did get a lot of really cool experiences. One in particular, I just love to talk about this one, is there was... Spoiler alert. Big spoiler, because not everybody gets to do this. It's not really part of the thing, but certain things can go off to the side. The kids, there's ended up being 5 total kids, got pulled aside by one of the Jedi light trainers off to this one room where there's been these boulders and these little pebbles lying around, and you could go there and touch them and do whatever all the time. But on this particular occasion, they're in there with this trainer. She has them all grab a pebble that represents them. They stack them together on top of a boulder, all as a group. And she's like, this represents you guys working together. And then she grabbed a larger pebble, put it opposite, maybe about 3 feet away, said, this represents your goals. She says, I want you all to focus on your goals and really try to achieve them, and, put your hands forward and try to bring those goals to you. So they had their pile of rocks 3 feet away from this one rock, and all of them in unison are holding their hands out and thinking about it. And of course, we're in Star Wars land. That rock starts to vibrate. The whole place starts to vibrate, actually, that big boulder. And that rock starts moving towards their rocks because they're using the Force. AJ claims that was his favorite part. Andy doesn't stop talking about it. It was just an amazing experience that they got to do. And it was just 5 kids. No adults were asked to go with that person. The parents followed, but no adults were asked to be a part of that. So they definitely do cater to the kids. Our kids both loved it and had such a great time. I'm
really jealous of that because I was born during the first Star Wars. Can you imagine being their age and getting it's like unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, just the regular Galaxy's Edge is phenomenal, but wow.
That's actually a sentiment, Kurt, that we kept kind of returning back to, because Jeff and I remember being 9 and 11. Those are our ages, that we're separated by, and playing with Star Wars figurines. And for us now to be able to experience something like this and also have 9 and 11-year-olds that are engaging with this was just phenomenal. I was able to see it through my lens as a child, his lens as a child, and our kids' lens. It was an awesome experience. I was not there for that, Jeff. I'm so glad you videotaped that so that I could live vicariously through it. But that was absolutely worth the price of admission. AJ is also talking about it nonstop. So that is really beautiful.
We do hear that even with the lightsaber training to get your lightsaber, that's like the best thing in Disney World you can do, and it's from the adults that are reliving their childhood, and they do it so well that it just blows their minds. So, well, you guys and your list, Glenn, you had two things: the bridge training and the lightsaber training. You want to go into those?
Yeah, these were on day one for us. Now, everyone's itinerary is going to be a little different. I think it's partly based on whether you have first dinner service or second dinner service. The dining room is not large enough to accommodate all 400, so they split you into two. With young ones, we decided to take the early one. In any case, that pushed our bridge training and our lightsaber training to the first day. Lightsaber training is exactly what you would expect it to be. You are in a room with a lightsaber and you are deflecting little shots and beams that come at you. They've added for this a new element that I was not aware of in the Star Wars universe, a light shield. So instead of a saber, you have a shield that also comes to life when it blocks blasts, and you need to use the Force with this thing. It created a really fun game that they cycle you through. I'm not going to get too much into the specifics of it so that you can experience it yourself if you go, but I worked up a sweat. I was really moving, and we were engaging, and you're going at this for a few minutes. There are some pretty fun moments, pretty nostalgic moments when you actually start to connect with the Force. There are Force sensitive characters that everyone's going to know that start speaking to you, that encourage you to, really feel it deeply within you and get into character. And I felt myself really getting into character. I don't know how I look. There are no videos. There's one picture I saw from you, Jeff. I have a video of you, Jeff, and you were so into it. You were absolutely like owning that samurai experience. The kids were so into it. It was awesome and such a fun experience. That could be the highlight for anyone.
I wonder if there's some gyms that do Jedi training, so you could have, when you said I was getting all worked up, I was like, maybe you should be in like a 6 months training before you go to do this.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're hopping up and down and everything like that. It was great. And then bridge training is so much fun too. So the ship adjacent to the atrium is the bridge, the command portion of the ship. And it's outfitted with, I guess you would kind of call them games, like video games that are built into the experience. There are 4 separate type of stations. You cycle through each of the 4 stations. You're going to get a chance to do each of them. I think most coveted is weapons, where you're shooting out the big bay window in front of you at bad stuff. There's others that are like engineers. You have to decode arrangements of, what would you call them? Knobs and switches and buttons and things like that. You just kind of decode that. My favorite was shields. That's what we started with. That's, you're basically playing Arkanoid, and you're blocking things from shooting you. Each game is its own unique thing. You don't know what's coming. So bridge training is orienting you, familiarizing you with how that works. This will be important later in your trip. Spoiler alert for the next 30 seconds, because you're going to be under attack later by the First Order. The ship will reveal itself to be full of rebellion or resistance sympathizers. you're going to need to defend yourself against attack. So it'll be incumbent upon those resistance fighters to know how to manage those 4. Continuing the spoiler alert, if you end up being like Andy and accidentally siding with the bad guys, you will be trying to attack the ship from within, and you will use those same 4 tasks to attack the ship.
It is spies on the ship.
Yeah. And we shouldn't glance over this. Jeff touched on it. You start answering questions in the correspondences. You can answer them in multiple ways. There are sometimes as many as 4 different answers. Based on those answers, you fall through a flow chart that I'm sure Disney has worked up, and it siphons you off to be either one of the good guys or one of the bad guys or a force-sensitive Jedi type. And do we believe there was a 4th type, Jeff? I think there might have been a mercenary.
Wraith Cole was, you're a scoundrel. You can also go the scoundrel direction.
Oh, the double agent.
Yep. When it was all over and I look back on it, I'm under the impression, and the more people that go on and talk about it, probably will figure out, I'm under the impression that it is physically impossible for a person to see the entire story from all the different angles that Glenn just described. So you are going down a path. So we really missed out on a lot of Jedi stuff, and we didn't have much interaction with the scoundrels at all. We ended up kind of going down the path of the ship's cruise director and engineer, because those were the people that, quite candidly, had Chewbacca, spoiler alert, on their side. And as soon as I saw Chewbacca, I was like, we're with this guy. And so everything he was doing, we wanted to be a part of. So we kind of went down that route. Andy and I, as Glenn mentioned, we still answered some questions for the First Order side, but we still, all 4 of us kind of aligned that route and went down that particular path, missing out on others. Where if you talk to somebody else, they may have never even seen the engineer, and they went the other route of Jedi and had exchanges with Yoda and Rey and whatever the case may be that we didn't have any exposure to.
Well, that's all we're going to share with you for this week. I'm going to leave this little cliffhanger as we talked with Glenn and Jeff for over 2 hours. So the rest of this adventure continues next week on the podcast. And for a little bonus this week, here's that recording I did with Travis Dietrich on our Zoom call this past Wednesday. We'll hear all about his challenge on It's a Small World and his preview of Guardians of the Galaxy. All right. Well, we got a Zoom call going here. Every Wednesday we do a Zoom call, but I thought I'd take this advantage because Travis Dietrich usually joins us every Wednesday, and we're so excited. We're so proud of you, Travis. You went out to It's a Small World all day long on this past Saturday for Give Kids the World. So congratulations, everybody.
Yeah.
Give them a shout out.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what was it like, Travis, to ride all day your favorite ride? You must have been so excited.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting, given what we were doing and why we were doing it. The company that I had with me was fantastic. We made a whole day out of it. We did 12 hours of it, really only stopped to have the necessary food and restroom and water break, and otherwise we just got on and on again and on again and on again.
Who was there live with you supporting you, Travis? I know you took us on virtually on Facebook as best you could indoors at...
Yeah, sometimes it was kind of choppy. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, so Scott and Karen were with me. Dave and Veronica were with me too. And Chad Pennycuff even showed up a little bit at night.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Great job, Scott and Karen. Thanks for Karen building the little flat Stanleys.
Yeah, the flatties. Yeah.
How many of those did you make, Karen?
I made 16 of them. 16 or 17. One of them was double-headed. So
yes.
I saw that.
Yes. The gingers were double-headed.
Gingers were mute.
2 for 1.
They were mute.
Yeah.
It was too hard to try to separate their heads and then enlarge them. I'm like, they'll just be double-headed.
A new twist on the flat Stanley.
Yeah, so it works.
Excellent. Nice T-shirts too. I really liked your T-shirts.
Yeah, it was a great. Yeah, she took the time to make a T-shirt with it, and so we had that, and the names of the donors were on the back. I had made a QR code that had a link to my fundraising page that we put on the sleeve. That came in very handy because it got a lot of people. The shirt itself got a lot of people just talking in line, and the cast members saw it, and it actually prompted a couple people in line to scan the QR code and make donations. So that was really cool.
I know this was kind of fun. I remember when we first started the chat, you had a little chat going with a bunch of us podcasters that are kind of brother and sister podcasters, and talking up this idea, and you came up with $1,000 goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was a reasonable goal, but I'll tell you what, Travis, this community continues to impress in their generosity to us, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. And I mean, I'm not shocked by it. It was a little overwhelming at times to see the amount of support and the messages that I was getting, especially like the day of the ride and everything. And, everybody just came together as one big community to support just a really great organization. And I just feel like I was just kind of the catalyst that just put people in the right direction, or made awareness, or and did a ride for 12 hours and played that part. But it was really just, we did it together as, just a one big group that, like I said, just came all together and reached a goal and just found a way to be generous and just
have fun too.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your second goal was $3,000. When did you surpass that? Was that before Saturday?
I
think so.
Yeah. I think it was just over 3,000. I think just that we were at, like, at the start of the day, I think, which really, I mean, this all came together kind of not necessarily last minute, but it didn't have a ton of time behind it as far as the planning and thought process. And, it's just something that came up when kind of had this extra weekend because I had scored a preview for Guardians and had like a day, beforehand. And I thought Tony Ann and I had kind of joked a little on some previous Zoom calls or whatever. And so I thought this would be a perfect time because I would be solo, and why not, man? Let's see how cool this would be. Cause I know other people do these kind of things, like little ride challenges, or they'll try to do ride all the rides in one day or something, like just little challenges for charity. And that's just was like, I'll do that. Let's do it.
I love logistically how you set it up. It made me feel good that it was going directly to Give Kids the World through their website and all their technology, to support that. It made it really easy on everybody, and you feel confident it's going to the right place. Not that I was worried about you, but it just sets a precedence. If we do this again, I think I would require that it be done the way you did it. You really did a great thing here that sets a bar for if and when we do it again. So,
yeah, I mean, I thank Tony Ann and all the people that had messaged that day, yourself and Dave and Scott, Karen and Chad. And I mean, they were giving me ideas of how to kind of put it together or what that kind of looks like, especially Tony Ann, because, she's familiar with the organization and so she helped me, give me idea to, make the page and everything, and then have it be a shareable link. And
it was easy.
Yeah, it was super easy to promote, for sure. Too. Yeah.
All right. Anyone else got a question for Travis? I'm going to ask him about his preview also, but
I have a comment.
Yeah, go Scott.
I'd like to thank Rebecca for finding a way to get down there and ride with us at least 4 times.
She did?
My specialty, 2 places at once.
I have pictures of it saying, "Goodbye, Rebecca."
Goodbye, Rebecca.
4 times in a row.
More times than Karen, actually. I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
Karen,
more time.
half a time. However, we do a half.
And more times than Veronica, too.
Veronica?
Yeah,
Who was
Veronica
actually in
had
the boat,
it.
too.
Did you notice the goodbye there? Did your name show up all the time, Travis, on that?
Not all the time. I think it was like 13 or 14 times. Out of,
13
we kept
out of 20,
stats.
Trev.
Yeah, we kept some pretty official stats. I mean,
We have official stats.
All right. What are the official? Do you know them?
we calculated the feet that I traveled, and it actually turned out to be just over 4 miles of Small World. That's more than a 5K. So
nice. Has the song left your head yet?
Oh yeah. I mean, it like as.
Are you having nightmares? Are you waking up in cold sweat singing "It's a Small World"? No.
No.
So no traumatic experiences.
No. Probably after about the 5th or 6th ride, you start to notice other sounds, or like you see things that you don't see the first 5 times or whatever, or you look for things that you miss, because there's a lot going on in that ride. So
all right, yes.
And the cast members were great, because we actually had a chance to talk to them, and they got behind what we were doing, and they were excited. And we had a chance to talk to this one who has worked on the ride for about 6 years. And so she was telling us some insight and some little things about the ride. And she told us some little hidden things to kind of look for that most average guests probably don't know about, or they're not there to ride it 20 times. They don't pick it up. There's some things that, that I learned about the attraction, and that was super fun. It's something that I'll always remember that day. It has a very special, dear place to my heart. Yeah, I mean, it put a new perspective on the attraction.
Will you ever ride it again?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, when I go, my family, my girls like the ride, so I do it for them.
And we make you go on it with us when we're at G3s.
Right, sure. So
we told him he's exempt for the next year.
Oh, he's got a year off? Okay, that's fair.
That's fair. That's good.
Well, Travis, it's tough to be a superstar one day, and then you're all alone in the airport wondering where is all the attention, right?
I don't consider myself a superstar at all.
It's tough being a rock star on the stage and then off.
Did you look at your final total? I looked just before we signed on.
So I know yesterday it was over 4,300, I believe, just over 4,300.
4,330 when I just looked.
Very good.
So that's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, I guess I never imagined. I mean, like I said, I'm not shocked by the generosity and the amazingness of all the people in the groups. I mean, we're all amazing people. We have the best communities by far. And so I'm not shocked by it, but I'm just still taken back by just the amount that we were able to raise, and just for somebody that says, hey, let's do a little fun with this, and combined a lot of rides on a ride and have people give towards it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we're all real proud of you, Travis. Thanks for taking us along. And it was a lot of fun for everybody.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of pride, too, for everyone.
I do, yeah.
All right, Travis. We're all excited. Not very many people have rode the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and I'm so glad you got to have some fun the next day. And you were with Jeff Opolka, one of your buddies.
I was,
who popped in. So, all right, give us the scoop on Guardians. See, I don't do any spoilers. I don't read nothing. I stay away. So I'm only listening to my listeners. So, what's your take on it?
I'm not going to give you any big information details, because I don't spoil. I'm not going to be a spoiler.
All right.
I will just say that.
Where's it rank?
Well, again, I mean, it's a great. I really liked the ride. I thought it was a great ride. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It will be on my list of rides that I try to do every visit, because I liked it so much.
Nice.
I think if you like roller coasters and you like the thrill rides at Disney, I think you're going to really love the ride.
Is it 3D? I don't even know. No, there's no 3D.
No. There's no 3D glasses or anything like that. No.
It has some 3D, but it's automatic. You don't have to wear glasses. There's no special equipment required. But that's really, it's very subtle though. So
okay, yeah. Gotcha. I didn't feel like it to me, but it's super awesome. The queue is really great. It's got a lot of good air conditioning. So if you run into a hot day, then the air conditioning is really good in there. They have a photo pass opportunity outside the attraction. So that's cool. They will have a gift shop. It wasn't open yet, but they will have one. I don't really know what else to say other than, to not spoil it.
Judy's got a big question. We got a big question. Those of us who are prone to motion sickness, and I know you're not. I don't think you are, because you can ride Flight of Passage 6 times in a day and not be impacted.
Well, I can't really compare it to Flight of Passage. It's kind of just a different animal. I do get a smidge of motion sickness when I do like something like Rock and Roll Roller Coaster or even Space Mountain a little bit, just like a smidge of it. It's hard for me to say because I don't know like the levels of like what you get, what kind of motion sickness you get now. But if you're familiar with those attractions, it's comparable, I think. But again, I don't want to get into the details of everything.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it either. So I'm one to get motion sick, and I, as a preemptive, took a little nausea, just an anti-nausea pill, but it's not like a big one. It's like it just gets rid of it right away, and I had zero problem on it today. Zero.
Yeah,
Karen, I don't get nauseous like from Flight of Passage or Soarin', but Cinderella's Carousel makes me sick.
Oh, yeah, I can't go in carousel.
No, see, I can't do that.
I can't go in circles. And this was 100% fine. It was exciting. It was absolutely amazing. And there was only one spot where I was like, whoo, but I didn't get nauseous at all.
The backwards launch didn't bother you?
No, it was amazing.
Okay.
Well, they got to have some great music going through all the time, right?
Yeah, they have up to there's 6 different possibility songs that you can get. So it's each ride is going to be different. Each ride is going to have you could get a different song if you wrote it like 6 times, or you might get a repeat, but
right.
So that's really cool. I had a really fun song. I liked it. I got Conga by Gloria Estefan, which it was like one of the 3 songs that I was hoping to get. So that worked out good.
Yeah, I got that too.
Are those songs from the movie? Are they songs that he played in the movie?
Yeah.
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 So the cars don't spin around in a total circle.
I don't want to spoil anything.
I don't know. I can't really say. Like if I don't want to spoil anything. I'm sorry.
I don't either. But Judy, I think you'll be fine.
You can text me and let me know.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, and the rest of the crew is going on Saturday, Judy, so they can give you their opinion too. So Tony and Mike and Scott and Dave and Veronica and Ken and the girls, they'll all be there. So we can let you know.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Samantha and Rebecca too.
And Dave times.
That was just part of it. And the other Rebecca.
Top liver over here. The rest of you people are just like hop, skipping it. Bring my suitcase to Philadelphia and back to get there.
Well, it sounds like we're going to have a lot of people before it even opens, right? In this ride. That's fantastic.
I wish that I could have done it again, but I only got to ride once. They were only allowing one ride or whatever. Karen, did you get to ride?
No, they only let us go once too. I think because it was the DVC one, they only let us go through it once. Yeah.
There's a good long line.
I waited 35, 40 minutes to do it.
That's not bad.
We were talking, it was probably about that. We were talking the whole time, but it was just so hot today. So
it was hot.
But it kept moving. The line just kept moving, but it was probably 35 minutes.
A lot of that was inside then, right?
A lot of it was outside. They outside us outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jen Batcholder did it on Monday as well. Her AP one was Monday, and she goes, they walked up right on. I mean, there was no line when they had theirs on Monday. So it must just be I have no idea how it'll be on Saturday. So, but
they're all preview people, so I'm sure it's not that crowded.
Yeah. But it was very organized. You know, they checked you in and yeah.
They know how to do this now. They've had some practice with big rides opening up.
But long answer short, it's
very cool.
I liked it a lot, and I will try to do it each time that I'm in the parks because
Where do you think it ranks in your rides now? Did it surpass Flight of Passage?
No, I mean, so again, you can't really compare. Like, to me, I think that ride with a roller coaster ride, like, it's hard for me to describe why, but I mean, it's definitely up in the top of my list of attractions to do when I'm there. I mean, Flight of Passage has a lot of meaning to me anyway, just tied to the movie and just the land, and so I don't think they can make anything that will ever surpass that in my mind. But again, that's just me.
That's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, it's great, but again, there's a lot of things with Flight of Passage that make it just my ultimate favorite or whatever.
All right.
I love the ride though.
When you rode it, was the gift shop open at the end or not yet?
I don't think it's going to actually open until opening day.
Okay.
I was bummed. About that. Because when I did the Remy preview, they had a small cart of things that you could buy.
Right.
Even during the preview. And so that was kind of a bummer.
Well, Karen got some ears. Where'd you get your ears?
Tell them where I got my ears.
Mandy made those.
Okay.
Mandy Malinowski, who also rode today, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And Mandy Malinowski just got on the health stand today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
you did.
Yeah, Travis, I was going to say, I got my super cool Remy chef's hat.
I thought so.
Pass holder preview. Yeah,
because I got my Remy lighted up cheese necklace or whatever.
Right.
During the preview,
I think they missed out. They could have made a lot of money.
Oh, they for sure could have. I mean, and there's enough.
They're having a hard time getting it.
I would not doubt that.
Mm.
It's weird though because I've seen press previews of what the gift shop looks like, and everything is
Stocked?
the merchandise is there. So
Lou Mangello gets everything first.
Well,
I was gonna say the press gets everything, right?
Not even good
right.
press, bottom of the run press.
Check eBay.
It's inside the magic.
Well, Travis, thanks for coming on and just chatting about this little quick.
I had my Groot shirt on. Mickey liked it when I met him, so it was.
I know. I saw
worked,
that was fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks. We'll keep getting more information as all you guys get down there. We'll get you on the podcast. And again, Travis, well done, pal. As they say on Soarin', nice work, pal.
Thanks. Yes. Thank you. I do appreciate it, and I thank everyone from the bottom of my heart that supported the cause and supported me and sent me messages, and it was amazing. I love you all, and I appreciate you all for sure.
All right. We love you too, Travis.
We love you, Travis.
Thanks.
Couple of shout outs. Elizabeth Petty joined our Zoom call on Wednesday. Way to go, Elizabeth. Thanks for coming in and spending some time with us on a Wednesday Zoom call. I know it takes some courage to hang out with all these people that have become such good friends on Wednesday night, but I want to give you a shout out. Thanks for coming on. It was great to meet you and hear about all you're doing with Walt Disney World. I want to remind you, we've got a trip coming up. Margita, Judy, Ken, and I are going to be down in Disney World June 4th through the 13th. We're staying at Bay Lake Tower and the Riviera. I've got a list of my geek and friends who will be down there in Walt Disney World during our time. So if you're going to be down there, please let me know you're going to be there. I would love to meet you. Don't be shy. Tap me on the shoulder. Send me a quick message so I know that you're in there in the Disney World, and I'd love to say hi. And as always, thank you for everyone who books their trips with Margita and Judy, the Traveling Tiaras. Email them at thetravelingtiaras@gmail.com and get that next trip to Disney World or cruise or even down to Universal. Get it started by emailing travelingtiaras@gmail.com. I got to thank everyone who is a Patreon supporter. Big shout out to Julia Mrozek. Julia, I see you in our private Facebook group all the time, and I just got to thank you for being an annual contributor to the podcast, going out to patreon.com and pledging a whole year's worth of being a Patreon. So thank you so much, Julia. And if you'd also like to pledge a donation to the show, just go out to patreon.com. Look for Geekin' on WDW. I also like to put out some bonus episodes. I call them the Inner Circle episodes. I didn't really get one out this past week, but I've got one coming. It's a live recording from G3. I know Glen Kessler and I are chatting. I think it's on Tuesday morning, talking about his VIP tour. We're also on the bus talking about Glen's evening that night. And then we're on our way to Grand Floridian chatting with Chris Futrell. And then there's a whole fun time over at the Laugh Floor where I play the role of Sully. So if you're interested in those bonus episodes or just contributing to the show, go to patreon.com, look for Geekin' on WDW, and I thank you so much for being Patreon supporters. We are committed to helping you enjoy your Disney World vacation. Just reach out to me if you'd like to do a trip report, book a trip, or review your plans for your trip. Kurt.stone@geekinonwdw.com. Thanks for going Geekin' on Walt Disney World with us. We really appreciate you listening and geeking with us every single day. We love you, geeks. Have a magical day, and I hope all your dreams come true.